something, Lori?
No, sir.
Of course,
I come in here and didn't bring my dog.
you don't
You
have to.
come here about half, didn't you?
Well, I left my other book
I don't
outside.
see anybody that I think's gonna want to speak,
There you
but maybe so.
go.
All right, everybody ready? So this is the, was that a no? This is the Budget and Finance meeting for Thursday, May 30th. So we sending around the roll call on paper. So everybody please sign into the roll call. Our next item is approval of the agenda. Anybody got any changes and comments they want to make about the agenda? You know, actually, I do, I forgot. So let's add as number, let's change number 9 to discuss budget, because we're at the point now where we need to start talking about some of this stuff. I didn't mean to, I meant to leave my, I guess that's,
That was a question I had was, is this the last budget and finance before the full commission, the next full commission?
that, we can discuss that, yeah, I think
Okay, okay.
technically, if we don't add a meeting, I think, yeah, but
Okay.
we're not ready to do that yet, I don't think, so. We need to talk about that. So number 9, budget discussions, and then 10 would be adjourned. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve agenda as modified.
Second. Oh,
Okay.
Tim.
All in favor? Aye. You can keep it. Public comments. Does anybody have any public comments? Forgot to put out the sign-up sheet, but I think everybody's here either to listen or on the agenda already. Approval of minutes from the meetings of April 25th and May 7th. That was the last two. I apologize. I got behind on that, but I think I'm caught up. Everybody get a chance to look at the minutes. If they want to make any corrections, let me know. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion approved minutes.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh-huh.
All right. And now we got a slew of amendments tonight. So county school budget amendments. I think Dr. Lawson warned us last time that he was gonna be back, so.
Does that have to be turned on or anything? I didn't know.
Probably does, yeah. There we go.
All right, so there's several things that I'm on the agenda for, and I just, which one, if I
So the
go in
first
order
one-
of what you have, what do you have?
We've just got a list of amendments, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 24 dash, or 143-1.
All right, then, number 11, I'll mention it first. Number 11 is simply where the money is coming from the state to pay for the summer programming. 3 years ago, the state started to provide funding to try to make up some of the losses from COVID closure. And so that is what that is. That brings the money in from the state, and it distributes it out to all the costs that we have. And it's just a formal amendment to bring that money in. Do you want me to run through them all right now?
Yeah,
And
go
then you
ahead.
vote?
Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, number 12. Number 12 is a special education grant. And so in order to make sure that we use up the entire grant and don't have to send any back, we were needing some supplies and materials. But it was budgeted in instructional supplies and materials and in-service and staff development. So to make sure we use it all up, we're taking it out of one category and putting it in another. But it's still a proper use of that particular grant for special education students.
You're just making a category correction?
That is correct. Number 13, that is, we went with very conservative numbers last year because we were anticipating a recession. That recession did not happen, so sales tax came in much better than we budgeted. We ended up with more money from the new funding formula than we had anticipated. Property tax was better than we budgeted, and we had also built in some teaching positions to get ready for the end of the federal ESSER money. So that's some large money there, and so what we've ended up with is we've ended up with some overages this year, and instead of just letting that drop into regular fund balance, we are going to put that into capital outlay for some very large costs and some improvements. We are actually looking at fixing the track to where we can host district track meets because we're lacking in a couple of things, and possibly possibly lights, LED lights at athletic fields and other large projects. So this is just simply moving some extra revenue that we experienced this year into capital outlay so we can use it for projects
So
next
you're
year.
not, you don't have the projects planned yet, you're just moving it to a different.
We're just moving it
over there to the
before
capital.
the books close, so it's
Right.
not an unassigned fund balance.
Okay,
Then number 14 is simply, that is simply basically cleaning up at the end of the year. We have a little extra money in diesel fuel, a little extra money in the teacher line, that kind of thing. And we're just a little bit short in substitute teachers and some other lines, and we're just making sure to get that so that we don't have any overages, and this avoids an audit finding. So this is shifting money to make sure that, that all these categories are correctly funded and closed out for the year.
okay.
And then there's a separate food service budget amendment. Is that, again, I don't see
Yeah.
your, so do you want me to wait or just go ahead and cover that one?
Just go ahead.
Okay, this is 1432024-1. Our food service, our nutrition department received a grant to provide, basically it's a fresh fruit and vegetable grant. What happened was our people, in order to implement that grant, had to work a little bit more hours than we had calculated at the beginning of the year. So we're moving some money from food service equipment line to the state retirement line to make sure that we can fund their retirement contributions for the overages on hours they experienced as a part of that grant.
Okay. So those are the amendments for this FY.
Those are the amendments. Now, there was also the adoption of the budget.
Let's deal with this one first, since it's a
Okay,
separate year.
that's what I wanted to find out.
Yeah, so is everyone okay with those? Those are all just cleaning up the books for the end of the year for the most part, sounds like. Any questions for Dr. Lawson on those? Do we have a motion to approve all of the school budget amendments for
I'll make-
2024?
Go ahead, Tim.
I'll make a motion to approve the amendments.
I can second it.
All right. Any other discussion on those? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Yeah, you go ahead and catch the 25 budget stuff now.
Okay, now, this is, I'm gonna look first at the general purpose school fund, the overall budget. I have already come before this body with one budget, and the reason I'm back before you now, understand something, I was asking for a budget that had a 6% raise for employees at that point. Since that time, we have received revised estimates from both state and local bodies. The state sent us a revision on the TISA funding formula that was $150,000 above what we had budgeted. And from local revenue, we received further clarification, and those local revenues came in about $190,000 above what we had budgeted. When I presented this to the board, I presented them with a 5% raise, a 6% raise, and a 7% raise. I recommended the 6% raise at that time because I felt it was a blend of what was appropriate for our employees, but also I'm a fiscal conservative, and I didn't think that it put us in any kind of danger. With this extra revenue, it takes about $350,000 to give a 1% additional raise. Since we now anticipate about almost $350,000 in additional revenue, I asked the school board to raise the percentage raise from 6% to 7%. So basically what's happening here, because of this additional revenue that we anticipate receiving, we can give a 7% raise, and it shows the same hit to fund balance that the 6% raise did previously. The board approved that, and so now I have to bring that back before this particular committee before taking it before the commission. So basically, asking for the approval of the 7% raise as it stands with the revised revenue estimates allows us to show the same hit to fund balance that we were experiencing before. Well, it's not exactly the same. It is actually $2,800 more, which in a budget of over 50 million, that's not too bad.
Yep. So basically, you've added 300, you said 80 something?
Basically, we've added about $340-some thousand, and you need $350,000 to give a 1% raise. And rather than it drop into fund balance, I'd rather give it to the employees.
Okay. Any questions on that?
And so this would replace the approval This approval for the 7% would replace the previous approval for the 6%.
Right. All right. Anyone like to make a motion to approve that? Is it the same thing for the school cafeteria?
That's the case.
That's the case,
That's the
so-
case as well. If we're gonna do it for the other employees, I would like to see the cafeteria employees get 7%
So I'm
raise as
just, I
well.
was just asking to make sure we're probably gonna vote on both these together, so.
Yes, that's it. So that is the same thing for the nutrition budget. Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion.
All right. Do we have
I'll
a
second
second? All right. So motion and second. Hold on, let's see. All right. Any more discussion about that? It's pretty hefty raises, but I know it's been a goal of the governor to get pay across the state up, so. If there's no other discussion, we'll call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. I think that takes care of you, Dr. Lawson.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let's see.
Do you want to let Rick?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Is that
You
okay
don't-
with
Unless you
everybody?
want to stay for the whole thing.
Is that okay?
I'm probably gonna stay anyway, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
If you want.
Well, we'll just stick to the agenda then if you're gonna stay anyway.
Okay.
All right, so county budget amendments.
Okay. You have all of them in your packet except for one, and that was the general fund, because that one always takes me a little longer. I get kind of nervous about that one because it's a lot of lines to look at. So I'll hand that one out when I get to it. Let me write my notes.
Yeah, me too.
You want them all together, or you want them separate, or how do you want
Let's
it?
go through them one at a time for now, and
Okay,
we may vote on them together.
okay. So this is, same as, Dr. Lawson was mentioning. This is basically cleaning up things, as close to accurate as, you can guess. That sounds right. So the first one is for the drug fund. It's 122-2024-20. This is reducing expenditure line items. And if you look at the top, that's reducing some line items they're not going to be using. And at the bottom, we had where it says 509 refunds. We had a court order that we had to refund back to somebody. So that was the $20,868. The drug control fines, sale of equipment, and proceeds from the sale of capital outlet assets were all lower than what I had originally had in the budget. So that decreased the fund balance $59,814. So the
Oh,
new,
the total. Sorry, go ahead.
the new revised estimated fund balance is $433,223.
Okay.
Next one, this is for 911. I put it all on just one so it wouldn't get kind of convoluted in the other. But it's 101-2024-21. Public safety, reduction overtime pay, $12,487.
687?
$12,687,
Okay.
yes. And then it's also a decrease to fund balance of $29,898. The second in the bottom, that is the lines that are being increased. The director, 375, dispatchers, 6,800. Other salaries and wages, 28,747. State retirement, 3,368. Life insurance, $40. Medical insurance, $2,974. Dental insurance, $162. Unemployment, $119.
So is this just corrections to salaries, or?
No, we
'cause there
only
wasn't overtime.
budgeted for 18, and they have had 19 all year.
Okay,
So and I've already talked to the director about it. It's my understanding, I don't want to speak for anybody, when somebody had quit, they were not supposed to hire and be back at the 18, but that's not happened. So that has caused this overage.
Okay,
So we will have a reduction in the fund balance in the general fund of $28,898.
okay. So are we clear on how many employees they're gonna have this year? Or do we think we are?
Should be.
I've got 18.
Okay. so
18,
they-
and then
But you said they had 19 this year.
I don't know how clear I could, yeah.
No, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying that, this is a question I had last year about,
Right.
can the 911 board do hiring and firing and budget things without clearing it with us first,
Well-
if they expect us to fund it?
You want my opinion?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because we only budgeted for 18.
Yeah,
So, and I already had them bring me a check for what I thought was going to be the difference, but it's actually going to be a little bit more. It's difficult, because when you get to June, you only have 2 more payrolls, and
yeah.
you may run over.
And we don't have to solve this nightmare, but that's, I
we
think this is
probably need
something
to
that
have a
needs clarification.
discussion.
We need to have a discussion and
Yes.
clarify that.
We've only
because
budgeted for 18.
If the county's gonna be asked to be a major contributor to the 911 budget, they can't set the budget for us. We have to have input on that, so, all right.
Okay, so that's that one. The next one is General Debt Service Fund, 151, 2024, 22. As you know, the investment income, the rates we're getting now are very high, because we have some very healthy fund balances as the county as a whole.
Yeah.
Because we have money sitting there we haven't spent yet. So our actual investment income was actually 2.6
Okay,
million more than what we normally would get in a normal year.
wow,
Yeah, so I do want to say I have one general debt, the local, let me see, we got a capital outlay note that we did, which is like a bank loan that we did when we did these improvements on the roof.
Yeah.
And the energy.
yeah.
So I'm going to look at paying that off early. If I can get an answer before the end of the year, I may just have to amend the budget next year.
Okay.
To pay that off, we owe a little bit over about 1.9 million on that, and that would clear up that debt. And then the only thing we would have in general debt service is the jail. That's it. So I am looking at that, to
Sounds good
use
to
that
me.
money for that, because you can see now we have a $7 million fund balance.
This is on the general debt service,
General
yeah,
debt,
yeah.
right.
All right,
So that's what that one is.
healthy. Do we have a goal for that fund, what we want it to be?
Normally, we set aside 6 months of expenditures budgeted, and we have way more than that.
Yeah.
Next one, this is just amending the budget, rural solid waste. Reminds me, I must put that in the wrong figure. Doesn't matter. Okay, 116, 2024, 23. These are all increases in revenue. At the top, that's $31,222. And then on the bottom, reducing trustees' collections, because it's going to be lower than what had originally been budgeted. That's the $9,494. But that is an increase to fund balance of $21,728. Excuse me.
Oh, so on the trustees collection, that was just the prior years, which is always a projection, right? That's
Right, the
not
prior year that's
that
collected.
was unpaid or something, or the prior year that was collected, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Delinquent, yes.
but we didn't have a general decrease in collections this year.
Well, and some of this 40120, which is in several funds, there has been a decrease in that
Okay.
specific revenue number. We had quite a bit year before, we collected in that number this year, but this year it's been
And
down.
what's the source of that funding then in that account? Or do you
Um,
know? I mean, I know you know, but,
That's what comes in through the trustee's office, county trustee. They, like the 2023 taxes, they
Yeah.
collect those through April. And
okay.
so they're putting that number, and then after that, they go to the clerk and master.
Okay, okay, okay. All right,
And then next one, same thing, amending the budget. This is the ambulance fund. The increase at the top, property tax, I'm not gonna read it, I know y'all can see it.
Yeah.
Patient charges. We have been able to collect, knock on wood, more than anticipated, which I was glad to see that.
yeah,
The Medicaid subsidy, we're still receiving that because we're a rural, oh, I forgot to put it in
I
there.
was gonna say, it looks like it's zero.
It was to remind me to go look. Because normally we get 4, 1 a quarter, but we just got knows we're getting another one, which
Okay.
kind of messes you up. Because we need to just do 4.
So do we need to hold this one then until later?
No, just,
Okay.
let's leave it. That's probably why I did it and forgot to take it back off. I'll take it back off on my corrected copy.
Okay.
I hope I didn't. Where's my ruler? I can't read this right now. Okay. You know what I think? I think that should be. I'm wondering if that should be insurance recovery. I know we don't have that much in insurance recovery.
You think maybe insurance coverage is zero or it's just a small amount that you didn't,
I'm not sure.
we can always
It's
catch
either
it.
Medicaid or insurance. But now I'm like, did I go ahead and put that in and just forgot to take the other one out? So I don't know.
Why don't we just hold
It's
off
either
on that
one
one?
or the other.
Yeah, why don't we just hold off on that one?
Okay.
We'll catch it next meeting.
Okay,
Because we're gonna
that's
have
fine.
more meetings for June.
Okay. So just, I'll have to check that. I hate to say something that's wrong. Okay, the next one is Highway Public Works Fund. Same thing, amending their budget. The revenue increases are at the top, and there was also the highway and bridge maintenance, medical insurance, that was, we're not gonna spend that, the $12,590. Then we do need it for some things down for the 63100 operation and maintenance of equipment, social security, state retirement, laundry service, and then it still is a return to the unassigned fund balance of $41,083.
That'll pave, what, 2 feet of highway? That'll be good.
And then,
On that, just a quick question. So the hybrid electric vehicle registration, is that a new
That's
thing this
new,
year?
yes.
Yeah, it's a
That's
nice, very round number. That's what caught my eye.
yeah, that's another thing, I don't know what's gonna come in,
Yeah.
so.
All
Or
right.
if it's gonna come in quarterly, it's gonna come in monthly. And then the final one is the one that I couldn't get in the packet, cause I just finished it.
And
So,
you're gonna hand that out now?
yeah, if y'all wanna just send that around, this is the last one. Let me give you one. So,
I do have a question though.
sure.
On 44530, sale of equipment, $7.
Okay, what I don't like is seeing money in a column that there's no budget.
That sounds kinda weird.
Yeah,
That's all I
that's just me. Yeah, that was,
All right.
have. Sharing.
I got one.
She said the buck
not
stops right
sharing.
there.
Everybody got one now? Think so? All right. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this is I don't wanna say my best guess, but actually it is.
Yeah. It's an informed estimate.
Yeah, amended budget. So, everything at the top section, I mean, either increasing revenue or decreasing expenditures. So, you can kinda look through, most of these are just, you've seen them before. So we have, county clerk has restricted funds, she's spending more of that, which is great, she's really been busy back there. Manchester Library, this is the committed funds. Yeah, Tullahoma Library, same thing, and then the Coffee County Hall of Veterans, you know, we had the dedication, we're getting money in for that, which we had 250, we've got more coming in, that's just increasing that so they can spend their expenses. I mean, continue what they're doing. And then the opioid settlement funds, this is the portion that comes from the state of Tennessee. That one's kind of been, honestly, it's kind of been a nightmare because it wasn't set exactly what we were going to get, and then we weren't gonna get it, and then we were gonna get it, and there's two pots of money. So this is the portion that comes from the state abatement fund.
And it can only be used for certain purposes, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
all, that's
So-
all restricted.
Yeah.
So it's $237,78,000. The state contracted prisoner board, we have been receiving more. I know that's not always a good thing. You can ask Chad because that means he has more state
prisoners.
inmates. So I've estimated 370,900. And the Homeland Security grant for EMA, 41,930. We just got notice of that. Law enforcement grants, we have some smaller grants, 13,676. And then the Manchester Library, they did get the Dollar General grant.
The grant
The
that we-
literacy grant
yeah.
that we had discussed at a prior meeting, $6,000. Polly brought me the check.
It's pretty good.
We have it in hand. 4140 contracted services, this is for the federal primary reimbursement that Andy said we will get
Okay.
that. We should get it before the end of the year. The next one, this is the other part of the opioid settlement funds. This is the part that comes from Brown Greer or the lawsuits. It's a different pot of money, and it's kind of complicated to explain than what the state sends us. So it has to go in a separate account number, which is 48991, and we are going to get more from that. First, we were only gonna get so many years, and then Walmart decided they were gonna pay it all, and then Walgreens paid 2 years. It was, like I said, it's been kind of crazy. So, it looks like, so far, we're gonna get 153,773 more than what was originally budgeted. And then insurance recovery, yes, we get $100, I know. Let's see here.
How
Then-
big was the deductible?
Actually, it was a repair that went on between 2 fiscal years and just took forever. And they sent us a check for $98 and something, so
Yeah.
I rounded it up. So, the next one, reduction to 51,900. Originally, we had 2 people budgeted that, but they never did hire the second one.
Whose office was that?
This is IT.
Okay,
There was gonna be one for
Yeah.
the judicial center, and they
Oh,
decided
that's
not to
right.
do that. So that's taking that out of that budget. Trustee medical insurance, they're not gonna use 6,277. And then we have the drug recovery court, which has finally, they've hired the director. We're not gonna use these funds, so that's reducing that budget down.
so they've got external state funds or something for that position?
We are getting 100,000 from the state, and then we're gonna use our opioid funds for the rest of it. But we have a $200,000 budget, which we know, there's no way they just started,
Right.
so it kinda doesn't need to be there. Okay. The jail guards, it's reducing 35,500, we won't be using for that. I've put it back you'll see in overtime, because they need the overtime money from that. And then Tennessee Department of Health, the mental health grant, $72,005. So here, that's the one that's, works in conjunction with the recovery court. See, we're reducing it because obviously we're not gonna get all of that yet. And then the county mayor, we had two, line items that did not get the, across the board during, that, and it was, there was a few we corrected through the year, and these
Yeah.
were two others. So that's, 2,200 personnel and benefits, and purchasing 1,680. And the next one is county attorney. That's estimated to be over 38,460.
That's for the remainder of this year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the second page, county clerk, that's her restricted money. Jail increased overtime that we pulled from the guards, it's a transfer. And civil defense EMA, that's the Homeland Security grant I just mentioned. The county coroner medical examiner, that's another one that's kind of hard to, with autopsies, you just don't know. It looks like we're going to need another $15,000 for that to finish out the year. Let's see, Manchester Library committed funds, that's the money from Dollar General, the 6,000 plus 500 from their other committed. And 719 office equipment, 1,000. Same with the Tullahoma Library, 500 other supplies and materials, and then office equipment, 1,000. And then the 58-100 tourism, that's for the expenses related to the Coffee County Hall of Veterans wall. And the next one, liability claims. I've had quite a few come in on some lawsuits that were settled out of court, but we had to obviously pay the settlement, so that's 19,000 is what that is. But overall, it's a return to fund balance of 827,928.
So that's a pretty good chunk of change there coming back.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions about any of those? That's a lot to go through, I know, but
Yeah,
trying to tidy everything up for the end of the year. So as far as the list there on the agenda, I think we said we vote on all these except the 24.
I might be able to figure that out real quick.
If you can, that's fine. If you don't, if you want to get it done tonight, but we can do it next
My
time.
numbers will be out of order.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you're gonna figure it out then?
I'm gonna try it.
All right, she's gonna try to figure it out real quick.
Okay, let's see here. So that is Medicaid subsidy.
So the 41,603 is the so looking at Amendment 24, we had the blank line on Medicaid subsidy, that 41,603 is there. And then is there anything on the insurance then?
I think they had probably $7. We just won't put anything there, I don't remember what it was.
Okay. Do the numbers total? They
So-
should, right? Because it was in the
Yeah, it's
spreadsheet,
just-
yeah. Just a
It's
different
marked through
line.
the insurance recovery, and the 41,603 is the Medicaid subsidy.
Okay. Everybody good with that? Just a little correction to the line.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
On the attorney fees?
Yes.
Legal services? Right, so this 38,460, is that for, how many months is that?
That's to take us to the end of June.
From, what's the
It's
last?
just, it's an increase from what we had budgeted originally
Okay.
over the whole year.
Okay.
So it's just like an overage or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. Mary, all right?
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
What did we have budgeted last, I forgot what it was.
That's
I
okay.
saw it, but
I can tell
what
you.
it was.
Let me pull it up.
And I think we're gonna be having some discussions on that, right?
When do we have that discussion?
You're talking about the county attorney
Yeah.
right now. You asked what we have budgeted.
She's looking
This
it up
current
right, she's
budget,
looking it up right now.
123, I
Okay.
think,
Okay.
123.
That sounds right.
Yeah,
We
sounds right.
$470.
had talked
72.
about it.
So we're not discussing right now what we're doing going forward.
Okay.
And we're gonna have opportunity to do that.
Yes, originally it was 123,472.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I don't mean to interject.
That's okay, go ahead.
That settlement, you quoted a $19,000. Was that on something from my department
It was from,
recently?
mhm.
That's the wrong figure.
It was, yeah, it was 12,000.
That's a
I thought
total,
you said 19.
Well, I had some other things in there too.
I'm
That's-
sorry.
that's a total
I
line
thought-
item.
I thought it, cause I signed off on 12.
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
There's some other deductibles we had to pay. No, that's okay. I did say it that way. I'm glad you paid. Which I was gonna call you, but I didn't, so I figured you. Okay. so-
All right.
But yes, it was 12.
So does anybody have any other questions
Did
on,
that answer your
on,
question?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
good. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 budget amendments there. Anybody like to make a motion to approve those as a block?
We're gonna delete, did you delete 24?
No, she figured out the right, that was
Should be
the,
the Medicaid subsidy.
Okay,
so it's just a minor correction. Didn't change the total, it's just moved. All right, Tim made a motion
second.
approved.
Tim
Phil.
again?
Is there any discussion, questions? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, that brings us to capital projects. Rick Susi. This is a budget presentation, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Rick, have you handed us anything, or is it just?
I've got it.
Okay,
I'm trying to get my stuff in order.
She's-
She has a list,
I
but I've
don't-
kinda got my own little breakdown.
Yeah.
all right.
I think I got enough for everybody. Go over it. It just breaks it down building by building. So these are capital projects that is either brought to me by department heads or elected officials, or that I'm directly involved with.
And then,
So before you get into details here, so is this what we're gonna put in the capital budget the capital budget,
Yeah.
capital projects budget?
These are estimated prices, and just, I would like to say, if we could just not discuss that amount that's on those pages, because if any of these projects are approved, they will have to be bid out.
Understand.
And we'd rather not have that in the public as far as
Understand.
those numbers.
Okay, that makes sense. And the second question I had is, does capital outlay already see this? So, yeah,
Yes.
that's.
All these
that's
have
what I
been
thought. I
approved.
just wanted to make sure
Y-
that everybody
yes,
understood
sir.
that. Okay.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So the first building is the Manchester Library. They asked to have the exterior of their building painted and replace any rotten panels that are kind of outline the top of their building. They've got a few trees they want to remove. They're looking at maybe doing like a separate area outside for the kids, and they've got some trees in the way that they're looking to remove to do that. Upgrade the glass doors on the inside to make them a little bit more handicap friendly. The doors that are in there now are really heavy. We did the outside doors, and now they're looking at doing the inside set to kind of match those. They're just lighter weight, makes it easier for them to be open. Outdoor lighting, we're kind of looking at just some more brighter lights outside. They said their parking lot's not very bright. We're going to look into maybe getting with Duck River about putting some up on the light poles out there, maybe some just upgraded LED lights, and then some new wall packs on the existing exterior. And then the last one is the skylight roof repair. This past year, they had a big skylight in the middle of the library, and it's got its own roof deck and everything, and it's
Always a problem.
very aged.
Yeah.
Skylights, one thing about them, eventually they're always going to leak. So we're looking at removing the skylight area and actually building a new roof to cover where that existing was. Any questions about just the Manchester Library projects?
Anybody got any questions? I don't think I do.
No? All right. The next one is the maintenance shop, which is actually my building. We're looking at restoring the roof. It's a metal building with a metal roof. The roof itself is about 40 years old. Got a lot of rust, holes, stuff like that. And this is to basically restore that roof so we don't have to tear it off and replace it. Comes with like looking at like a 12-year warranty with a coating on it. It's about 4,000 square feet, and like I said, it's about 40 years old. So we're looking at getting that repaired. It's basically like a recoating, basically.
Right.
Any questions on that one?
Every
No?
4 years,
All right.
that's, I don't know, that
Yeah.
sounds.
The next one is the sheriff's garage. Basically, it's the same thing. I think both these buildings were built probably on the same day. Got a metal roof, a lot of rust, about 40 years old. They have skylights in it also, and they're just deteriorating. So basically, what we're doing is restoring it so we don't have to repair it, so we don't have to replace it. Cost is a lot cheaper to just restore it rather than replace it. And then painting the exterior of the building, it's again 40 plus years old.
You're not gonna paint Chad's name on it, are you?
I don't think so. So, any questions on that one?
We'll put C, Coffee County Jail on the roof.
Yeah.
The next one is the Tullahoma Library, another roof repair. Basically, we have 2 gutter systems that run in the middle of each section of the library.
Yeah.
And it's just bad design, unfortunately. But it's been coated many times, and it doesn't work. So this is to remove all the coating, get it back to the original, and put a better, more hopefully longer lasting coating that will hold up to the water. Next one is Clerk Master's office at the first floor of the Justice Center. Basically, we've been doing some remodeling. We've redid our countertops, removed some old cabinets and stuff, and they're just wanting to get rid of the old carpet. I think it's original carpet from 25 years ago, estimated. Want to go in with more of like we have in the hallways of the CCAP, a little more durable, easier to clean type flooring.
Yeah.
So I just want to upgrade that. And then the last one is CCAP, this roof. Same thing. And I do have these to give. A lot of people on the Capital Outlay probably already have these. These are just like a roofing photo report. Basically just shows some of the photos from this roof.
I'm sorry, can you remind me, because I was thinking, we did some work on the roof a few years back, right?
So this project has probably been going, I think we started this maybe 2 years ago,
Yeah, so I thought we
looking
talked
at
about
all the deficiencies of the roof, having it scanned.
That's what I'm remembering. I remember we talked about it in strategic planning, but I couldn't remember what the state of it
Yeah.
was.
So basically, it's the same thing. It's the cost to recoat the roof so we don't have to tear it out and replace the actual roof itself. These pictures kind of just show some of the deficiencies in the roof. We have where it's been blown off, cracks, fasteners coming out.
And as I recall, we saw a lot of that when we did the air conditioning upgrades, right? We had issues there trying to match it in, the
Yeah.
old roof.
So when we put all the new air conditioning in, we did all new curbing, but it didn't really match up to the existing roof. Unfortunately, many years ago, we put a new roof coating on this roof, and it was done by somebody who no longer is in business and kind of got us into a mess. And yeah, hey, it's my job
heard that
sometimes
story.
to tell the the bad story. We got into a bad situation, put it that way. I won't name any names, but there. And then to restore a lot of the gutters around the building. We have a lot of the seams are just starting to rust out. Fasteners are rusting out. So in that cost is to
Yeah, see, that's my car.
to redo some of the gutters.
Almost fell on my car. That's right there.
Yeah.
Originally, originally last year, we kind of started this project, and so some of the money was appropriated last year, but we were unable to get it through capital outlay. We didn't have enough people to vote to push it through, so I decided not to move forward with it. We were going to do it in 2 phases, so that's kind of why we did some of the money for last year and some of the money this year. But now, since we've already got to this year, we would save about $30,000 to $40,000 doing it all at one time, just setup fees, and also the cost that you see there is basically the cost that's been guaranteed if we do it all one time. If we wait another year after this, obviously with the price of materials, it just fluctuates so quick. That wouldn't be guaranteed.
Yeah.
I know it's this is a big project, so any questions on
The LED sign,
that would just be out front.
that's the one, is that the one out on the road, or is it? Yeah.
It would be under the one out. We installed a new front sign this past year with a LED sign in mind for the future. It's all wired and ready to go for a LED sign. It was something that the mayor's office kind of asked to look into when we started the whole sign project. They would like to have something to where we can put meeting times
notices
and
and election
voting
notices,
stuff, all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Any,
Is that it?
that's
I'm
That's-
surprised it's not a longer list.
that's all from my end.
I
Put it that way.
have a couple.
but- Yeah,
if you want.
go ahead.
Yeah.
So we have, our IT person, purchasing agent has worked on getting, we've had complaints about the sound system in the commission room. And they have been able to get what they figure is a reasonable, now I'm like, should I say the amount or no? I don't know, but we'd like to include that in the budget so we can get the sound redone in that.
Has capital outlay looked at that, or does that fall under capital outlay?
Does it?
We have not.
Okay. Do you want me to?
We ought to.
Probably-
get that
probably
shot.
ought
Well, I mean, it is a permanent asset of the real property here, so
think it probably
it wouldn't be totally inappropriate for capital outlay to look at it.
Okay, well, I'll let Cindy and Stephanie know that they need to
Our meeting's next Thursday, so we could get it.
send
To
the
us.
stuff, what they have, okay. And then, the rest of, I budgeted about 70,000 just for replacement of computers. We need to get to Windows 11, I think now. Most of them we've done a little bit at a time. And I wanted to put a little bit money in there just to get everybody on the same page. We we may not have to spend all this because, like, I've bought 4 printers in my office. The one we had, the brothers, they finally died, but I had money saved over from other lines I was able to do, so, may not have to, I'm not gonna have to use that money for that, so. Then there's like laptops need to be replaced, EMS.
Do you have copies of that, so we know what we're looking at as far as price
He
wise?
told me I'm not supposed to give anything out with money on it.
I mean, I
For
know
bid-
what
for
people
budget.
want,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we need to know
Well,
how
yeah,
much we're spending and where we're spending.
So it'll be in the budget amount, right? So for a total, so the total should be okay to
yeah, I will
discuss.
have it be in total, I just kind of,
So the tab that we have in our notebook for capital projects, is this stuff included in this tab yet, or will it be? Or is it, or does that even
some of
happen?
it is.
I mean, cause this will be the budget we vote on right
Yeah.
here, right?
This is what she's at.
you wanna vote on it, and let
No.
me take it back and.
No, I don't want to do, I'm not saying I want, trying to vote it right now, I'm just saying ultimately this will be where the money
Yes.
is, right, in this budget, right?
I've got most of the stuff that I had in there.
Okay, but is the stuff Rick just presented us in here yet?
No.
Okay, so that'll be at the end. So, in your notebook, there's a tab that says capital projects, and that's the total budget for capital projects for next year. And all this stuff isn't in there yet, just so you know.
The-
So,
My stuff is,
her stuff
but
is, but not
what
the
Rick
stuff Rick
brought
just
up
presented.
isn't. So I was gonna wait until y'all decide what you wanna do, and I'll add it to
Okay.
it for
So-
a final.
So you want us to make a vote on the list he just gave us then?
Yes.
Okay,
And I mean,
yeah, we can do
capital
that.
outlay needs to look at the other stuff, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah, we can
obviously,
do- we
we're
got
not
time to
gonna
do that.
spend it
Right.
until it's approved.
Right. But this is just a budgeting exercise, so.
Yeah.
So does anybody, wanna make a motion on what Rick just presented us to put it in the capital outlay budget? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So on the roof here, how much do we actually have budgeted?
Okay, that's why Rick wanted to come and explain. We had originally, there was some miscommunication about that roof.
Okay.
Originally, we had, I think it was like $600,000 or something.
A little over 600,000.
But that was for some other part of it, I believe,
It was
and,
for, like I said, it was gonna be done in 2 phases. So that was for basically for phase 1, which was half of the roof, basically.
And we didn't get
Yeah.
that, get
It didn't
a
get
chance
done.
to get that
So-
done this
No,
year.
'cause well,
That's
when
when
I
how
brought the
much
capital outlay for that meeting,
Put
we
there
didn't
for
have enough
that.
people to vote on it.
so
Okay.
that's what I was
Got pushed
gonna say,
back.
we're not gonna spend
Yeah.
it. So I'm gonna reduce that one and put the
It'll just go into, flow into the fund balance, right?
2 million.
Yeah, but it'll flow into the fund
Oh,
balance.
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
so.
right. I just wanna go through and make sure, look at everything.
Tina, did
'cause
that answer your question?
What
I'm
is
not sure yet.
confusing on some of these projects, we have the health department, the new health department, which we've spent some on that. We have money that was obligated for that, that I put in a budget so everybody would know what was going on. Give everybody account numbers, because, you know, we have engineering costs, architecture costs. And then we have the animal shelter. We have some, architecture costs or engineer with that, and then we have the 3 TDEC projects that finally, I think that is moving forward, and it's not us, it's the state, it's TDEC, waiting on approval. We've already submitted everything, I think, told you that the other day, that email, don't worry about it.
Yep.
It's all done. So, and then on, like, we had approved some things for EMS that they didn't spend it all the first year, they couldn't get it. That's why I'm having to keep amending these things, because they're going in between 2 fiscal years, and it's kinda gotten confusing.
Yep.
So,
And then on top of that, as far as whatever we put in the budget, that's merely an estimate, because all this stuff's gonna go out for a bid.
like, I can't say we're gonna get $990,000 more from the state for the health department.
You say
So-
we are, or
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So totaling up the estimates that we have here would come out of the general fund, which is $9 million.
No,
No,
no.
that's one,
So it is.
capital project,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
So we have a specific fund for that.
Yes, that is
And-
only
and
capital
that's-
That's what I
project.
thought,
Yeah.
I subtracted it, so I know what it's gonna be after
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
And
make
there's,
sure.
I'm going to remove what we just talked about, that was in there for the CCAP building.
Right.
Because we didn't do that. That was,
Okay.
I had, when Rick and I talked about it, I said mainly I put this stuff in here as placeholders, so the money wouldn't get spent, because I knew we were going to have to do that. And then that's why he wanted to come explain all this.
so what we're asking for right now is a vote to approve putting the things he just presented in the capital
Yes.
projects budget for
Yes.
next year. But we're not voting on the actual budget for next year yet, just
Yeah.
adding to this budget.
Yeah, we just want to make sure everybody understood.
Capital projects.
I'll second it.
Well, you're
Okay.
making a motion for, yeah, the project
Yes.
that Rick
Okay.
gave us, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we all understand. All right, any discussion about those? Those all look like reasonable things to me.
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay. Any opposed? All right. Hey, Rick, thanks for that. That's also.
I'd like to point out that this is why in capital outlay on all new projects, the first words out of our mouth to architects is no flat roofs.
Yeah.
They are
Yes.
career for roofing companies.
Yeah, they are. All right, so that's the end is of the agenda as far as things that we had specifics on. And for general budget discussion, if y'all have just a few minutes, let's talk about a couple things. So, Mary Ann, we spent a lot of time going through the general fund. We haven't talked a lot yet, or if we have, I've already forgotten, probably everybody else has too, about the other funds. Can we kind of scan through some of these other funds real quick, and you can tell us,
Okay.
if there's been any significant changes to them? So, for example, if I
I
just,
do have this for the nonprofits.
okay, yeah, and maybe we
can
get
do
to that in a minute
later.
too,
I
yeah.
did do that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Solid waste
So-
sanitation.
all right.
All right.
Tina, you had asked me, I think it was at the May 7th meeting, about what the department requested and what the mayor submitted, because rural solid waste did not ask for any increases.
Right.
So what I did was, I separated it and made it like the way I did 101 and the ambulance fund, so you can see, this is the estimated budget, this is what the director actually requested and what the rural solid waste sanitation board approved. This is where Judd had wanted everybody to get 5%. So I wanted to make that clear because it was confusing. So I made everybody copies, and I've already got holes in them. If you'll put it under
All right,
116, which is rural solid waste, I'm gonna hand them to you so you don't,
so this old one needs to come out then?
you can, it should be the same thing.
Okay. I will leave them both in case.
It didn't,
It is the same.
yeah. It's just I added the department requests
Oh,
column.
yeah.
Oh, you added
So
a
it's
column, okay.
just like,
Just a little bit
the other
better,
one,
more-
that-
more information.
well, I wanted y'all to know they didn't request more money.
Right.
Right,
That was
right.
Joe. Hope I have enough. Joey. Did I give you-
Yes, ma'am, I did. Thank you. Tim don't have one, though.
Excuse me, I should have turned my microphone off, shouldn't I? Probably just blew up YouTube.
That's okay.
One second. I'll have to go make copies. I can't count. Dennis, did you get one more? Yeah, Joey.
So,
Did you get one, Joey?
so you got the department request equal to the mayor's budget?
Have that one. That's
Yes.
a new,
Okay.
just gives you.
Dennis, I'll get you.
Solid
one.
waste.
Give one tomorrow, be fine.
Don't know why I didn't.
You get one from somebody. That's okay.
What?
I give mine to
She was placing it.
I'm actually with you.
It's the mayor budget. The other one didn't have it.
What did you add on
Mine didn't have it.
Do you want me, let me just go make some copies. I've got my
Yeah, that's fine.
computer.
That's fine.
Y'all can go ahead and, let me just go make them.
But
make sure
I'm from day
everybody has
one
one.
though, too.
Trying to make
Oh,
sure
there it is.
everybody has the same information.
Yeah.
This is the new, I can get one tomorrow.
Mine's right.
So bottom line for, yeah, it is.
Numbers are the same.
She's just added a column.
I'm gonna go get more copies.
She added a column for the department request, just so we could see
So
that
you
they
can
hadn't
see
asked
that
for anything
they
else.
didn't- The director did not request more.
He's moved,
Just collect the papers and just get,
She collected that?
yeah. She'll like you throw it.
Here, I sent it off. Make a file of
It is.
No, there's 6 columns here and only 5 columns here.
she added
You've got
what they
C.
requested.
I haven't been here in a while, so I guess my book's up there.
We haven't changed the budgets.
That makes sense. Well, you need,
So So while she's getting that, bottom line is with solid waste sanitation funds, aside from the raises, there's, the standard raise, there's no changes.
Right.
So. that's it. And I think that's why they didn't come present to us, because they didn't think they had anything new to present, so. While she's doing that, the other one I was gonna, was she gonna do the same thing for those, I guess, the highway fund, we didn't hear from them. And I think it's the same thing, that they didn't ask for anything, but I had some questions about the highway fund. We'll just take a short, sit here and be quiet break, I guess. Mary Ann's bringing some, yeah, she's wanting to bring some copies. So I'm gonna let her do that. Because some of the stuff I wanted to talk about is questions for her, so.
You didn't get one. Laura, you did. And Dennis.
I've got one too. Anybody else?
Dennis.
I got one.
It was just me. I told you I was okay with it. As long as you didn't change the numbers.
Well, I just wanna make sure.
You just wanted them 3 sheets of paper back. huh?
Did you get one?
I haven't been here in a while, so you give me my book on the last meeting.
That's different.
Did I already put it in there? Oh, okay.
All right, so does anybody have any further questions there about,
All right, well, I have extra.
about solid waste? The less questions about solid waste, the better.
So
probably.
everybody understands what it is? Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna skip over ambulance for right now and go to, highway fund.
The only thing on the highway is I put that, you know, I had the budget amendment for that new tax, hybrid
Yeah,
stabilization or whatever.
so, and then last year we had some I was just looking at this state road aid program, that was special for the was it 3.4 million? What was that again?
They were paying about 98% reimbursement.
That was special
State
one-time
aid.
dollars?
You know, they always give us state aid to pay
Okay, so, but we don't have it budgeted yet for this year.
for next year.
Yeah.
That's all they're estimating at this point.
So why is it that much difference? Any idea?
Well, you know.
So the
Benton
question,
was
just for the
invited.
clarity,
I really don't know.
just for the question, just for clarity, so on, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. On Fund 131, the Highway Public Works, if you go down to line 46,420 State Road Aid Program, last year we got 3.4 million from the state, right now we're projecting 270,000, so that seems so I thought maybe that was one-time money or something, but,
No, it just depends on where they wanna, what they wanna fund, or if they've made up their mind by the time we're pulling all this together.
so maybe I might just call him and ask him
Well,
about
if
that a
you
little
look
bit.
at, on the expenditure side, down, all the way down where it says capital outlay, 713, all the way down,
Yeah,
state aid projects, see, that's all that's there.
yeah,
So I thought, well, if I dropped a number, normally I would've had more on this side than the
yeah,
other side.
yeah.
But, yes,
So that's one of the things I forget every year is exactly how our roads get funded. And does some of it come through the state and not us, and I don't, yeah, it's on there.
Oh,
That's
good.
right. Yeah, it's on here.
yes, I am ahead of my
Yeah, it's under State of Tennessee revenue,
revenue, yeah. Okay, good.
so
But that's what they gave me, so.
I will call Benton and ask him about that.
Well, he was invited now,
Oh, I know,
I'm just gonna say.
depending on what answer I get, I may ask him to come talk to
Everybody
everybody.
was invited.
I'm thinking that was some one-time bridge money. That's
Yeah, I
what
think it's probably
think.
something like that, but I'll just call him and ask him about it, so we.
Well, we usually get quite a bit of state aid. The bridge, they gave us money and none of it's been done,
Yeah,
so, you know, that's nothing, you know, Benton, they gotta wait on them to.
if it's okay with y'all, I'll give Benton a call and
Sure.
maybe just get him to come here. If it's anything significant, I'll ask him to come talk to us, so everybody can understand. But everything else looks similar. Again, he didn't ask for any raises, right? As I understand.
He did.
He did? But I meant beyond the mayor's?
No, the mayor does, on the highway, that's different,
Oh, that's right.
it's separate. That's what they,
It looks like it's about 5%, just looking at that line. Now I gotta do math.
well, now, the county official is going to be 5,
Yeah,
that's correct.
I was looking at the next line down,
Oh.
the assistant.
It's 4, looks like 4.
4, yeah. Yeah. And then the equipment operators and stuff. Well, it's hard to tell on that, because you don't know how much, hours and stuff he's projecting there. 2% would be 69. We'll look at that, all right. And then we've got debt funds. Tell us about debt funds.
General debt service, that is the one I was talking about, the interest. When you look at paying off the capital outlay note for the energy improvements and the HVAC and all that we did. Because we owe, let's see, principal $1,587,000 and then.
Yeah, and then we've got
And
8.
then whatever the interest is up to, it's not callable yet, but it's a bank loan, so a lot of times they'll let you go ahead and pay it off because the interest rate on that is like 1.17 or something.
They're happy to have you pay it off, so they
You
can
know,
try to
they
turn
probably
around
are
and
not
post it
gonna
something better.
care. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, because now everything's high
Yeah.
to borrow, so. That's what I'm going to see. I feel like that will be done. Yeah, the interest rate was 1.75 on that.
Maybe we shouldn't pay that one off.
Well, that's what we're paying.
No, I know, I'm just joking. All right, general debt service fund, anybody got any questions about that? That's just, exactly what it sounds like, fund for paying off debt. And then we've got a rural debt service fund,
And the only thing in this currently is, it's all school debt.
yeah.
So that one has a pretty
What's
healthy
our-
fund balance.
What's our smallest, debt in the school funds, do you know?
Well, nothing is callable, but I'll see if we can do some advance
Yeah.
refundings, repayments. I heard that they're lessening the requirements for that. We can do
Okay.
some of that. But,
How much debt do we have on the school, or do you have that handy?
mhm.
Oh, it's right in front of me here, I'm sorry.
You've got under loans payable, that's that qualified school construction bond, we can't pay that one off, because that's a thing that state school bond authority did, and that's where we get the money back from treasury, and they keep shortening it because of sequestration.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that one. I've tried twice, but we'll end up paying more to try to pay it off early.
Yes, don't do that then.
So then we got the general fund, like I said, the only two there are the jail, and then down there at the bottom is those are all traditional bonds. 39,760,000. And then the two train bonds, the school actually gives us that contribution
Yeah,
to pay those.
yeah.
So, yes, definitely looking at doing some prepayments on those, because we have $8 million to use.
Anybody have any questions about the debt funds there as we've been able to do that several times since I came on the commission. We were able to pay some stuff off early, which is always nice. And sounds like we might be in a position to do that a little bit this year. All right, and then we looked at general capital projects fund, and the only thing left is, well, the schools we saw. Then these miscellaneous funds,
Oh, okay, you have local purpose tax, that's for the interstate park.
yeah, so that's for the industrial park on the interstate industrial park.
I still don't have the new contract for the firefighting. I don't know if there's not gonna do that or what. I don't have it.
Send it
It's-
to HWR.
I have not seen it, and we didn't pay anything for this year, cause I don't have it, anything.
I mean, I think it was up to you. to
What's
send
the question? I didn't hear what was
About
that.
The firefighting,
And the industrial park.
industrial.
So we got an agreement, we got an
with the
agreement with the
city?
city of Manchester,
But it
right?
expired
I
a
have
lo-
no idea what,
It
I
expired.
thought HWR
2 or 3
always
years ago.
addressed that.
She's saying the agreement expired several years ago.
It
Yeah.
did, and we approved a
Yeah.
new one.
Okay, well-
But you may not have the paperwork, but I have the signed stuff from the city, and I sent it to HWR to get to you to sign.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'll find out where
So,
it is, but
is that something the commission needs to approve as well?
We did, yeah.
We've already
We
approved
approved it
the
last
money
year.
at one of the commission meetings.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
approved the new increase, and then the
I think it was
contracts
in
were
last year's
drawn
budget
up.
process, or
That's
was it,
yeah.
or was it an add-on when we were doing,
No, it was during last year's
I thought it was
budget
last year's
process.
budget.
We all agreed to increase it to 150.
150, right?
yeah,
And then like I said, I
Something-
have stuff that was signed back
Okay.
in March.
Okay.
okay.
And I sent
Okay,
it to
so-
Jimmy, but I don't know what he
Well,
did
he's
with it.
come and talked to me, it's been months and months ago, and I said, I don't have it, and I've told Annie about it, and she was gonna check on it, and,
She actually is the one
'Cause
who
I didn't
reached out
pay
to
it.
me. Yeah, no, I know. But I don't know, where does it need to go? And I'll.
I need us,
Yeah, send it to
I
the
need
mayor's
So-
office.
so
we may have-
HWR has
let's-
already addressed it.
We addressed it in a full commission meeting.
Yeah, let's back up just a little bit, so in case anybody doesn't know what we're talking about. So, the industrial board basically has an agreement with the city of Manchester to provide fire services at the county industrial parks. And so we have an amount agreed on to help fund that. And we upped it last year, and so it sounds like that's not, but anyway, that number's in here.
20-year-old agreement, I think
Right,
it was
it was
75,000.
old, right.
And we upped it to 150, and
Okay,
so I don't know.
I don't know what's going
But-
I
I
know
would like a
from
copy,
the city
please.
side, everything's been signed and
So
sent.
we've got it in the budget for next year again, the same amount, so.
Yes, and I can certainly
find out
pay
where
it
we are.
for this year. And
So I'll get touch with you.
okay, that'd be great.
Yeah,
That's all I need.
All right,
And they have, I don't know, you know, we approved a part, they have like a 3-part plan out there too that Stephen Crook brought.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we are on that because he left.
yeah, so this tax fund is just for the purpose of doing general maintenance of the industrial park. It's got its own special tax rate that the tenants pay. So they try to use that for projects that benefit the industrial park or the tenants. And Stephen had a plan to, to improve some signage and some drainage and some things like that last year. Then we've got the drug control fund. Anything significant there? Doesn't look like it, just cannon through it. That's all sequestered money, right? So, all right, and then the only other thing is, and we heard from the ambulance service, so I guess we've seen that, and they've got some requests. So that's kind of all of our funds. We've got some stuff in there where people have asked for some additional positions and some additional pay. You guys want to work on that maybe next week? We've been here for a good while now.
Just on that specifically next week, just let that,
Well, we need to start voting on some of this stuff, and then
Right,
we've got a
right, that's what I'm
list,
saying.
right? Oh, I'm sorry, we probably ought to talk about that real quick tonight. Go ahead.
Right, but that's why I have not given a revision for the general fund because
We haven't
I would
made
have to
changes yet.
redo it again.
Yeah. But right now, we don't have a meeting scheduled for next week. Would a Tuesday meeting work for folks next week? Not for you? Thursday?
Tuesday the 4th.
Or Thursday, the 6th then?
I can do Thursday.
I get
I got a regular
Thursday's
board
good.
meeting.
We got capital outlay
At 4? How long you think y'all will be there in it?
no more than an hour.
So we say 5?
Right now, we only have 3 things. Maybe 3. We might be over about 4:30.
Does 5 o'clock work for you, Mariana, next Thursday?
It probably will. I mean, I'll try not to schedule anything in June.
Yeah,
May
yeah,
and
I
June,
know.
yeah. That's the 6th, right? Let me go ahead and put that
Yeah.
in.
We'll knock out 2 in one day.
Yeah, it makes for a long night for y'all, I'm sorry.
Don't bother me.
Okay,
Next Thursday,
5
the
o'clock.
6th at 5.
okay.
So let's count on that being here next Thursday at 5.
sounds,
Let's talk about this real quick. So this is the list of contributions we have right now, for the nonprofits. And I can't remember, did we have any changes in here? We had a few, right? So-
1, 2, 3, and 4 is.
Oh, I'm sorry,
the-
those are the,
The items that were requested when the departments came.
right. So we can, that's the ones I'd like to deal with for sure next week.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, for sure, those.
Okay.
Then we've got the requested contribution amounts, and so, okay, so we got last year and this year. So Hillsboro's asking for a little more, North Coffee's asking for a little more, Rescue Squad's asking for a little more. My mind just went blank, SCHRA.
South Central
Thank you.
Human Resource
Yeah.
Agency.
Oh, that's the same. Why did I think, oh, no, it is, it's a slight increase.
And that's because we paid that by ADA. That's,
Okay,
those are local programs that,
that are calculated based on
Yeah.
use of population or
Mhm.
something. Centerstone asked for more, and she came and talked to us, right?
that was Humane Society.
I thought Centerstone had asked us as well. So, okay, so they've got an increase request in there, so maybe we ask them to come see us next week. Humane Society came in person already. Tullahoma Fire Department is a jump up, and remind me, so what's the Tullahoma Fire Department agreement?
Those are just mutual aid
Mutual aid,
agreements.
okay.
does, Tim, do you know, does Franklin County contribute to Tullahoma Fire Department?
No, I don't think they do.
Okay.
That's a good question. I didn't know the answer to that either. I'd be interested
I
in
mean, if
that.
they do, it's just been recently,
Yeah.
so.
Mutual aid for county ADC property for the Tennessee Forest Service. Interesting.
That is.
It's a very small
the-
amount.
The Coffee County portion that is out on AEDC
Okay.
property, but
Yeah.
it's county property, and we've had that forever.
Okay.
I actually put the increase in there, that was me.
It's a very
Just
small
say it
amount. so-
Because we've never increased it, I've been here 18 years.
Yeah.
And that's what it's for. It's the mutual aid, you know, and when they cut trees out there, we get the tree money, so
Okay.
anyway, that's what that is.
So at least if this list for sure, go home, think about this list. Let's try to deal with all these next week.
And the reason why Tullahoma wants more in their letter is they are having to respond to more EMS calls.
Yes, they are.
That's what their reasoning was.
Call volume that they respond with
Yeah.
Yeah.
ambulance.
All right.
Do we have those numbers? Do we have those numbers, like,
Oh, the number of EMS?
yeah,
We
the
can
number
probably,
of calls?
we can
like,
probably,
What is I was just wondering what, that they
We-
have to respond to, what's the
we,
number?
we can try to get them.
Okay.
I don't know if you would have, I mean, I'm not gonna know if they showed up.
You probably know the fire departments.
I can tell you what station of EMS that went.
Well, it just said that they.
No,
they-
she's
they
talking
were-
about Tullahoma's
That's what
numbers.
Tullahoma, the letter they sent.
Yeah, there's, it
Well,
said
she
that
was asking for the,
call volume, he said it's increased.
I
right?
have the call volume, but I can't tell if Tullahoma Fire Department responded. Does that make sense?
that'd be something she'd have to call Tullahoma and probably get what the number they go on.
I was just
Because they don't
curious
go
how
on
much
every
increased.
call.
I was
Yeah,
just
I,
curious how much.
I'll just tell you that, the administration over there is concerned about the response rate from the ambulance service.
Yeah.
It's about, I'd say we respond about 67% of the calls with the ambulance.
I can't hear you by station.
Is that about right?
That's
Well, you would
me.
know.
My head's about to blow up. Do you know what I've been doing?
Oh, I know.
know.
You've seen too many numbers, but I would say it's gonna be 60 or 70%, maybe more, I don't know.
So just in terms of stuff we know we need to deal with, there's the stuff on this list. There's the general raise amount, which we've got budgeted in here right now, but if anybody wants to talk about that, is there anything else that people know right now that they'd like to talk about in terms of making any kind of changes?
As far as these.
Anything in the budget that we might want to change before we start bringing it to the full commission? Just so we can be thinking about it ahead of time. If not, I mean, and we get here next week and you think of something, let's work on it. But let's at least try to work through this list next week. If we can get through this list, we should be getting pretty close, shouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Because I'm working on version 2, but I have the assessments for property tax. Do want to caution you, we're at third year reappraisal, so that means personal property tax is only assessed at 0.7564, I believe, instead of 100%. So.
Sorry, say that again? What-
Okay, third year reappraisal. This is
Oh,
the third
okay.
year.
Third year.
Personal property is not assessed at 100%. It's
Okay.
0.7564, which actually we do better than most counties because I have a list of all of them. Some of them
Okay.
are half. So just remember, when you see that, you're saying, well, why isn't this, why do we have less from last year? Because you're losing 25% on the personal property. And also, the property assessors also will still be adding new property up till September 1st.
Yeah.
So that's done after I've already done the budget. That's why you may have some rate increases that way, but, that's probably more information I want
All right.
to hear, but,
But bottom line is what you're telling us, some of the revenue numbers are changing as well.
right. I've
Yeah.
gone through, and Dennis and we went through the general fund, and I showed them the best of the best, sir.
All right.
Because, and I was explaining about the property tax, about the personal property.
Okay. Anybody else got anything tonight they want to address or they want us to look forward to next week? If not,
I have,
Number one, that probation officer, she said that was contingent, that she had a place to put one.
A desk, yeah.
I don't remember that,
If
gee.
she had a place to put, because she said she didn't know, if,
Yeah,
she was gonna
that's
have a
what
place
she
to put
said.
one.
That's what you said? Okay.
She wants the position, but she does not have a place yet,
Yeah.
Yeah.
physically.
Well, that doesn't stop us from budgeting it
That's
until,
true.
No, I mean,
Buy her a desk.
we can still give her the position.
it's not that, it's,
Where to put this.
where's the room to put the desk? That place is cramped.
Yeah, the position can still be given and then
And then she can figure out how to hire
figure
them
that out.
out.
That's right.
Well, the courthouse was also talking about hiring an interpreter to work all the courthouse.
Yeah.
And that's not on here,
I was gonna, on that one, but we can talk about it next week.
because they need one bad.
Just make recommendations. If she does hire one, it'd be a Spanish speaking.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we can specify that, but we can certainly recommend it, right?
Absolutely.
And what we might wanna consider is whether that requirement would justify a slight increase in the pay or something
I know
to
that
encourage her to do it.
She's having to try to spend money on training for her people to go if she hired somebody.
Yeah. All right, y'all got anything else? You all ready to go home?
Is anybody interested in an employee count by department? Because I
Yeah,
had a
actually,
couple,
yeah, I think people would.
I
like to
had a
see that.
couple commissioners ask me after that study session,
Yeah,
if I had one, and I went and
so while that's being passed around, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
I'm in.
I got a grandson playing ball, right?
This was what we talked about last year, we wanted
Mary Ann,
to know how
can I
many people
get
was.
the whole